Warning, the following video contains opinions, thoughts, and impressions from multiple content creators on the video game beta Ninjala. We do not ask that you agree with our opinions, we just humbly ask that you consider them. Thank you, and enjoy the video.
Hello ladies and gentlemen and all the core gamers out there, CAJman777 here. Welcome back to another Ninjala video. I mentioned in a previous Ninjala video that I wanted to do a video discussing Ninjala, what I liked, what I didn't like, what can be improved, so on and so forth. After, we all got thoughts and impressions on the beta. And that's what this video is mainly going to be about. But obviously, before I get into that, I want to thank you guys for the amazing amount of support that you guys threw on the last video. Absolutely incredible. I am absolutely blown away by what you guys did on that video. Thank you guys so much for that. But back to the topic at hand. You see, this video is going to be about an Ninjala discussion, like I said, what we thought of the beta. But you notice I keep saying we. That is because I am not alone in this video, and I'm going to be turning over, the video to a couple faces that you may recognize, a couple faces that you may not recognize, or more specifically, their voices, in this case. But, I hope you guys enjoy the video regardless. Keep in mind, you might hear similar things from everybody. I'm going to be turning it over to the first person, but I will be back later, and I will be giving my thoughts and impressions on Ninjala itself. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to a couple of my friendly content creators, and enjoy.
So I was asked to give my first impressions of Ninjala based on the beta that happened a couple days ago this week. And going into it, my biggest concern was that it wouldn't be fun. It looked fun, but I was worried about how it actually felt, and I wouldn't know until I actually grabbed it. One of the best things coming from Splatoon or any other Nintendo game for that matter is that the game feels fun to play. It has to feel good. And going into Ninjala, my worries went away. With the limited amount of time that I did get to play it, given the errors, it did feel fun. I was able to climb up on the walls. That was one of my favorite things. With infinite amount of chakra or anything, you wouldn't run out and just fall to your doom or anything like that. The little bit of sneaky play and ambushing felt good, and oh boy, does Epon actually feel great when you finally hit someone with an Epon, and vice versa. It feels terrible when you go flying across the stage into a wall. The music is amazing. It definitely reminds me of Jet Set Radio or Splatoon, if there's a difference. And the customization is really good in the game too. Of course, that's a given, considering that this is a free-to-play game. It's probably going to be tied to microtransactions, but we support developers. We need them to be able to make a good game, and they've put a lot of work into this clearly. Of course, if they're going to put a paywall behind the aesthetics of the game, that's all fair. The animations look good, the emotes are charming, playing against people is really fun, and I like the fact that, like Splatoon, in Turf War, you can choose if you want to fight someone, or you can kind of avoid people when it's not a good time. Maybe you want to just focus on the robot things, or then in the next moment you actually want to start fighting people. You can pick and choose your battles, and I think that is really important for what the meta may develop into, is knowing which battles to fight, what circumstances do you have the upper edge, because otherwise it's really just a bit of a RNG mechanic. I can't confirm this, but it seems like a lot of people have the same thought, that the parry system, when two people attack one another and you push ZL, it goes into this parry system where it turns into what we think is a rock, paper, scissors situation. If you push up, then you attack forward. If you push left or right, then you dodge behind the opponent. And if you push back, then you're preparing for if they dodge behind you. And I gotta say, it felt a little bit repetitive. I think that could be a little bit improved on. However, I did see that some of the arrows would be larger than others, and I don't know if that really matters. So whether it's a rock, paper, scissors situation, or there is some other mechanic that none of us were really able to experiment with, I do still feel like it was getting a little bit repetitive. I'd much rather have the ability to ambush people, catch them off guard, turn into a random box sitting there, and then attack them when they least expect it. That kind of mechanic needs to be expanded on. Now, speaking of the parry system, one major detail that I think that they could improve on that was very annoying to me is a system where when you start pairing with someone, there was a border surrounding the two of you so that people couldn't interfere. Now, mind you, specials could penetrate this. If you had that tornado ultimate special, it would just go right through and cancel whatever they were trying to do. But for the everyday ninja that was just kind of strolling by, that border is so big. As soon as you touch it, you go into this annoying, laggy, stunned mode. You take damage, and you're leaving yourself open, And amidst all the other stuff that's going on, it's kind of hard to see that border, really. Maybe it's because it's a new game, and I think a lot of people, definitely including myself, might not have been able to pick up on it, and I might be able to be more aware of it in the future. But I found myself banging into that border shield thing so many times, and it just took away the fun because I just felt like I was standing there. It's similar to if someone was attacking me in a combo, but in that sense, that made sense. That made me feel like I was being punished because I gave an opening and they're taking advantage. Whereas the stupid border thing was just getting in the way. I think they can improve on that. They could make it maybe stun you a little bit less, make it more obvious where the border is, maybe make the border a little bit smaller. It doesn't have to take up that whole area. I don't think that they should get rid of the border entirely, given that it could get a little confusing with everyone bunched up together doing a bunch of parries or interrupting things. So, I don't know. It's something that they should work on. Overall, though, I think it's a great free-to-play game. It's a combination of the free-to-play aspect that Fortnite has had, along with the charm and beauty of Splatoon. It doesn't play anything like Splatoon, but for some reason, I feel like it's so much inspired by it that if I like Splatoon, I kind of feel inclined to try this, but it's just different enough that it doesn't feel like it's completely ripping off Splatoon. It wouldn't have been able to beat Splatoon by any means, but they put enough little references and things like that to make you feel at home while learning a new game. So will I be picking up the game when it comes out? Absolutely. Would I paid for this game instead? I mean, I'm probably going to anyways. I'll probably get a season pass. I'll try it maybe out for a couple weeks, and I would probably suggest other people do the same thing. You try it out for a couple weeks, see if you like it, and then if so, then get a season pass if they have that, or buy some skins or emotes or whatever, just to make it more enjoyable for yourself. But really, if I'm going to be paying that, I probably would have spent about $20, maybe $30. So would I have spent $20, $30 to buy this as a standalone game? Yeah, most definitely. This is a pretty fun game. I think a lot of people like it. There's enough people that are going to be playing it, and I genuinely have a good time. Minus the little nitpicks, I think that those are things that they could slowly work on. Given that this game hasn't even been released yet, I think it's safe to say that they've got the foundation there and they can build upon it. But if this is the start of something incredible, then I'm excited to see where this is going to
go. Okay. So, Ninjala for the Nintendo Switch. I've played the beta. It was really, really, really fantastic. As it started with, to me, it felt like a mixture of Splatoon and Fortnite. And, I can't think of anything else at the top of my head, but it just reminds me of Splatoon and Fortnite. It's clearly a battle royale to win the first prize, to say the least, off of pride or whatever the case may be of winning first place. The concept of it is very unique, very different than any other game that I've ever played. For an online game, it's also really captivative. I would say it's probably gonna be like my next most playable game on the Nintendo Switch, cause I don't think I've ever played anything like it before. It's really not the fastest pace of games. It does have its tedious moments when it comes to walking animations, of course, not the whole gameplay itself. It does get fast once you like get into a close combat, and its quick thinking, its parrying system is also like, whoa, it's like a rock paper scissors all over again. I also like the fact how you can use gum to your advantage. I know this is funny because people in school used to say don't chew gum in class because it's bad, obviously, but now gum is like probably I can't believe I'm saying this, it's the most important essentials to playing Ninjala. And I just never thought I could even believe how gum can just be a good thing for you, especially for upgrading your weapon. Like, you can, if your gum gets big enough, you can glide into the air for as long as you can from a high altitude. And it's like, whoa. I feel like Knuckles the Enchilada. Knuckles the Echidna. I hope to see more players, more new players, people getting into it the same way how I did, and hopefully no communication errors and better servers.
Is it Splatoon looking? Yeah, but I feel like that just makes me want to get it even more. Like, I want more games that aren't afraid to look as nice as this game does. It's like perfect for a Nintendo system without truly being the game you expect on a Nintendo system. And I think that's why so many people are drawn into Ninjala after the success of Splatoon. It just feels like it's going to be a good game. We know so little about Ninjala after the first beta, but everybody was so excited. Like, Ninjala videos online got lots of views. People were flooding to watch any Ninjala streams, even though people could only play for like an hour. As long as the full game plays as well as the demo does, as long as the developers like give us some story, give us something to look forward to, like keep popping out updates for it after the game even comes out, I'm sure this is gonna be fine. I think that this game is gonna do very well, and I'm super excited for Ninjala. Like, can you imagine like the level of customization that they can do with this game? I mean, I don't know how much they'll add. I feel like maybe they'll just keep the hairstyles like limited to the actual characters because it is like character based. But if they let us do like a good amount of customization on top of what they add, you'll see so many people with unique looks. It'll be like, I keep saying Splatoon, but it's like Splatoon where even within the like set customization of the game, everyone can kind of make their own character and feel like themselves. Ninjala like kind of does that too. The only problem that I see currently with Ninjala is when we were playing the first beta, it kind of felt like there was a very large preference towards breaking all the robots. Like, if you broke the robots early, you got powered up early, and then you kind of beat up everyone early, and you got a very strong early lead that was kind of hard to break for those that weren't kind of already at your level. It'll be interesting if the game becomes kind of campy as it progresses, but for now, I'm really hopeful for Ninjala.
So where to begin with my thoughts on the beta? I guess the first thing I can really talk about is the fact that the beta servers from the first beta to the second beta were so much different, and Gung Ho and the development team behind Ninjala made sure that everybody had this amazing chance to play this second beta. They did a great job of improving the second beta compared to the first beta, so I applaud them for that. Obviously, I don't think they were expecting as much of an influx of players as they had in that first beta compared to what they knew was going to happen in the second beta. So I have to give them a lot of credit to where credit is due for that. But in terms of actual gameplay elements from Ninjala, and in terms of the actual like feel and idea of the game behind it, I love it. I love the fact that we have a free-for-all Battle Royale style game with 8 players with basically, I mean, the ninja kids. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest here. We have Squid Kids, and now we have ninja kids in a Battle Royale. And I think aesthetically, it has a little bit of a reminder of Splatoon in there, but it does feel like, Ninjala does feel like its own style, which I really enjoy a lot. I think the character designs are lovely. I think the customization for every one of the characters individually, like their own custom gear normally, is great. I think it looks really cool. I love the game's art style. Again, it's very Splatoon, ARMS-esque, and Kid Icarus almost, so I mentioned it in a previous video, but they do a really good job aesthetically. I think the levels, the 2 levels we had for the beta were the WNA Academy, which we had already played on, which I really like. It makes you play a little bit more aggressive compared to the second map, which is Eagle City, and my god, I love that map. You know, when I first started that map, I did not think I was going to enjoy it, but I love the openness of the map, and I love that the drone locations on that map actually at the start of every match are randomized. So the drones are not always going to be in the same spots at the beginning of the match, but they're not also going to be at the same spots at the end of the match, which I really, really like. And what I like about Eagle City, I think, more than WNA Academy, is you really can play with the game's stealth mechanics a little bit more. And I know I messed a little bit with that, with being stealthy and then not seeing a player, I cloned by a drone and the player walked by and went for the drone and not for me. But I think I really like that idea because it gives you that feeling of, okay, now I'm more of a ninja and I'm fighting. And I think that's a really cool concept to have. So I'd love to see more big open maps like that. But I think the one thing I have to give the stealth mechanic a little bit less credit for is the fact that you can still lock onto players when they stealth. I feel like if a player is stealthing into
an object in the map, like a sign or a crate, you should not be able to lock on to the player that is in stealth. I don't think that's very fair, because that it not only can it ruin your stealth mechanic, but it also at the same time ruins the other player's advantage of them intentionally trying to hide to begin with. Now, there are advantages to this if you hide in like a very inconvenient spot and they lock a player will lock onto the drone first. They won't see you, but I feel like that's something they definitely can change. Speaking of things they changed, I have to talk about the parry system. They really did a fantastic job changing that parry system up. I don't like being caught in an endless parry. As much as I love the parry fights, I didn't like being caught in an endless parry. So the fact that they allowed you to dodge out of a parry now, with a little bit of S energy, provided you had some, fantastic. It absolutely, you can break engagements and you can surprise your opponent for example, say you've got a very long parry string, you can break engagements and surprise an opponent with the fact that you can, I can dodge out of a parry and get some damage in. And I think that's a really awesome thing on the parry system. However, I still think something that needs to be changed on the parry system is the size of the field. When two players end up connecting. There was a couple times that I got hit by multiple parry fields from the same two people, or I witnessed it happen where people got pinned against the wall because of two other players parrying. Now, I understand this is meant to knock the players away from the two that are fighting, but they still need to make that parry field smaller, because if you get hit in that parry field, all of a sudden you can get third party from the outside edge, which is fine because it's a battle royale, but the problem is there's nothing you can do to stop yourself from getting third partied at that point because you get hit by that parry field. So making it smaller so it's only around those two players, I think, is a really good idea. In terms of the weapons, I love all the weapons equally. I think the hammer's my least favorite out of the four I tried, just because its combo strings for me didn't seem to work. I think the fact that it's got a weapon break is absolutely incredible, and that's what a hammer should be. It does a lot of damage. You do lose a little bit of mobility as well, but I think hands down, like I said, I love all the weapons equally, but I think my favorite of the four that we currently had in the beta was the trick ball. Oh my god, the trick ball. Having a ranged option to not only avoid parries, but then having a transformation option to change your opponents into whatever you want, it's so freaking good. I love the trick ball, and the drill and the katana. All the weapons have their own unique style and unique mechanics. Like, I feel like the drill is super mobile, with being able to do like the Jaws-like attack, and then basically you can gum dash into the Jaws-like attack, which is really cool. But all the weapons have really good kits, and just they're very fun to use. The one last gripe I have to say, I think, before I kind of wrap up my thoughts here, is I'd like to see the move speed increased a little bit more on the ground. It feels like from the first beta to the second beta, they increased the overall move speed of the characters. I feel like it needs to be increased just a little bit more, especially if you're going to have a map as large as Eagle City, with having multiple levels as well. So I can't wait to see what they change in terms of mobility, and I can't wait to see what new levels we get as well, as we already got 2 new weapons from their latest dev diary, the scroll, and I think it's like a shock hammer, if I recall correctly. But that's basically my thoughts on that. But I guess I gotta say this before I wrap up and give my final thoughts. The music is a bop. The music is a bop. The music has all the music is got. It's like their own bands, their own unique style. The musics are branded kind of like Splatoon gear is branded, with different bands in Splatoon. But man, I love the Ninjala soundtrack. If not for the fact that some of the audio tracks are really low, some are really high. A little bit of an audio balancing issue maybe there that they can address. But man, the music is such a bop. I think the game aesthetically is pleasing. I enjoyed both sessions of the beta when I was able to play. Of course, that first beta obviously was a little rough, but they were testing the servers at that point. But I cannot wait to see where this game goes in the future. I hope everybody enjoys this game as much as everybody else in this video, and everybody else that is watching this video as well. Man, I cannot wait for full release. I'll tell you what, guys, I think we're going to see a little bit of a content shift, maybe to go to Ninjala, maybe, I don't know, maybe competitive Ninjala in the future. I feel like there's a big, bright future for this game, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
So, Ninjala is coming out very soon, and the single-player campaign has been confirmed. And, it looks... I mean, why are we fighting an off-brand minion wrestler? Now, don't get me wrong, I rejoice the opportunity to beat a minion with ninja weapons, but of all the possibilities that Ninjala offered when it came to antagonists like pirates, ninjas, robot, abominations, They chose goo and a soda bottle. I mean, it's creative, sure, I guess? Look, these space ninjas, while obviously related to Gumchi, and they will probably shed some information on why he's here and what he wants with Ninjala, but real talk, I'd much rather have a backstory about the fat cat than Gumchi. And chubby feline as ninja enemies would be both hilarious and adorable. And of course you can make the last boss a business kitty that was financing all your baddies. Get it? Because he's a fat cat! Yes, I hate myself too sometimes. Look, the single player mode will more than likely be a glorified tutorial, which is a welcome addition to the game, because from what I've heard, the game can be a bit confusing for newcomers with all the mechanics, and having a stress-free mode to learn these things in a fluid and entertaining way could be perfect for them. If it wasn't locked behind a payment. Not much, mind you, around $9.99 I believe, and $4.99 on release day sale, which is very cheap. But still, it means a lot of people won't buy and get to try the learning mode. But, just like Octo Canyon, clearing the campaign unlocks some cosmetic options for your character online, which all looks very average. I am not a big fan of the Loco Soda logo and branding. It looks like the Hamburglar had to get a part-time job. Another point that I'm a tad disappointed, I say a tad because it's really not that breaking, you know? But you seem to only be able to play as Van at first, since it's about his own backstory, chapter 1. Which is fine, but I'd just rather be my own customizable character, or at least let me pick any of the main cast. Of course, this is only for chapter 1, don't worry about it. And then the enemies are probably gonna change and you get to play another character in a different setting. But I get the feeling that these Despicable Me Putty Patrol is gonna be the main deal throughout all the chapters, and that scares me deeply. But enough whining about something I'll definitely buy day 1 anyway. Let's talk about the Ninjala official trailer. 2 words. Wow. Okay, that's 1 word, but it's a pretty big wow. It's campy, cheesy, funny goodness, and I am living for it. And that West Side Story reference, mwah, 10 out of 10. Best game would snap my fingers menacingly again. I was already sold on the game, but now I'm like contractual obligation sold. Which is not a joke. I have signed a contract stipulating that I must buy the DLC at launch, and failure to meet the requirements will be punished by mildly disappointed emails by Gung-Ho. Mildly. This trailer encapsulates what is Ninjala so well. It's stupid chaotic fun, and it makes you want to jump into the action and make your own Ninjala OC. By the way, mine is using the fake mustache glasses. The original ninja, do not steal. With all this said and hyped, let's be honest for a second. Ninjala original reveal was a rough one. With its first trailer back in E3 2018, while not bad, wasn't anything revolutionary, then it was radio silence till 2020, then there was the first mess of the open beta, and then it was the second beta. That worked, don't get me wrong, but it was criminally not presented enough, so a lot of people never even knew it was happening. But now, Gung-Ho learned from their server's mistake. They have a great payment model, an incredible soundtrack, solid gameplay, a manga, an animated series, and a fat cat. This right there is a formula for success, my friends. And if they keep pumping frequent updates, single player chapters, good game balance, new weapon, maps, and more, I would not be surprised if Ninjala becomes a big Nintendo franchise in the future. Now, if you'd excuse me, I have to go freak out in my kitchen while waiting for June 24th, the official release date of Ninjala, which is the game that I just talked about, which is pretty sweet, which I should go now. Bye.
And that's it, guys. That is some of our thoughts and impressions on the Ninjala beta. I'm hoping you guys, of course, enjoyed this video, enjoyed not only hearing from me, but some of your favorite content creators as well, because without them, this video would have not been possible, and this video would have been very different. It would have been just me rambling on for 15 minutes, and I'm already kind of rambling on now, so I cannot thank them enough for helping me make this video something special. I'm very happy with how this turned out, and I cannot thank them enough for helping me make this video a reality. But I'm interested to see what you guys thought of the 2 sessions of the Ninjala beta. What do you guys think can be changed as the game approaches its official release, and of course as the game releases into its future? What do you guys think can be changed or improved with the Ninjala game itself? I'm interested to see what everybody in the comments has to say, so feel free to leave that down below. But other than that, if you guys enjoyed the video, do me a huge favor and hit that like button, and also hit that subscribe button for more Ninjala content in the future, because let me tell you, it is indeed coming. And that, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it here
for this video. So once again, I have to give a big shout out to all the content creators that helped me along the way with this. You guys are the best. I can't wait to do more stuff in the future with you. Hey, maybe we'll do some more Ninjala stuff in the future together as well. But of course, until then, this is CAJ Man 777 signing off. Stay safe, everybody.